Season 2, Episode 2, Galileo, Truth Under Threat. I do not feel obliged to believe that the same God who has endowed us with sense, reason, and intellect has intended us to forego their use. These were the words of Galileo Galilei, the man who dared to look at the heavens and tell the world what he saw. Born in Pisa in 1564, Galileo grew up in a world ruled by tradition, superstition, and authority. His father, a musician and scholar, encouraged his curiosity, and young Galileo's mind was restless. He questioned everything, measured everything, and longed to understand the universe, not as it was told to him, but as it actually existed. By his 20s, Galileo was a mathematician, a physicist, and a teacher. He invented instruments, measured motion, and studied the stars. When he pointed a telescope to Jupiter, he discovered moons circling another planet, evidence that not everything revolved around the earth. These discoveries challenged the deeply held belief enforced by the Church that the earth was the centre of the universe. At first, some were curious, others were outraged. Galileo understood the danger of what he faced. Questioning the established order in matters of faith was risky. Hearsay could carry the death penalty alone. Yet he persisted. He published, lectured, and demonstrated his findings with clarity and conviction. His goal was simple: to reveal truth, not to defy God or authority. The Church summoned him to Rome. He faced interrogation, scrutiny, and the looming threat of the Inquisition. He could recant entirely and live quietly, retreating into obscurity. He could compromise some of his claims to preserve his own safety. He could flee to Italy. But Galileo's mind would not allow silence. Truth, he believed, was worth every risk. The trial was tense. Cardinals and scholars pressed him, demanding he deny what he had observed with his own eyes. Galileo argued with logic, with evidence, with reason, but the political and religious powers were relentless. To survive, he recanted publicly, swearing to abandon heliocentrism. The crowd, some sympathetic, some hostile, watched as the man who had stared into the heavens lowered his gaze. Yet Galileo did not stop searching. He continued his studies privately, refining his theories, documenting his discoveries, and inspiring a generation of thinkers. Though he had lost the ability to teach openly, to publish freely, and to openly challenge authority, he gained the quiet persistence to advance human understanding beyond what anyone at the time imagined. From a Stoic perspective, Galileo's life exemplifies the principle of acting according to what one can control. He could not control the Church, the authorities, or the reception of his work. He could control his mind, his reasoning, and his commitment to the truth. His courage was measured not by defiance alone, but by the ability to pursue knowledge with clarity, rationality, and integrity despite immense external pressures. Galileo's legacy endures in every telescope pointed to the stars. Every mind encouraged to question, every discovery that builds on his foundations. His life reminds us that external threats, political power, tradition, fear, cannot nullify the pursuit of wisdom, the freedom of thought, and the courage to seek truth, define a life that transcends the limitations of circumstance. You cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him find it within himself.